Hi guys, this is Tanya Ahina, Hawaii Homes by Tanya with Century 21, iProperties Hawaii. And today, my very special guest is Abe Lee. He has the largest real estate school in Hawaii, which has a 5-star rating on Yelp. And he's also the principal broker and owner at Century 21 iProperties Hawaii and the owner instructor at Abe Lee Seminars. So today we're going to be discussing how to create extra income. So Abe's got a really good idea.
Okay, well, thank you so much for having me on, and that's my honor. Yeah, I was born in Korea, came to America in 1956. That's a long time ago before most people were born, and I was 8 years old. And I spoke no English, went to Honolulu Elementary School, and my father said, if anybody asks you anything, just tell them I don't know. So those are the three first English words I learned. I don't know. Okay. And since then, I've forgotten a lot of my Korean and of course picked up on English. So I went to University High School, which is a very small school by University of Hawaii. Got my bachelor's degree in Asian studies at University of Hawaii. I call it good for nothing degree because what do you do with Asian studies? And then I got a master's degree in education from the University of Utah. And I got my real estate license in about 1973, 74. I can't remember exactly what year, but I've worked for developers on their sales team. And then I decided that I would be a developer because I liked what developers did. And I didn't realize that they gambled their whole life and risk everything. Okay. I didn't know about that part. So, and then I started to do my own projects, what I call small infill projects, because I couldn't afford the big stuff that my bosses could. So they were borrowing $80 million and I'm borrowing maybe $200,000. So a huge drop, but that's okay. It was my deals. And so I've done about 160, 170 projects along the way. And I've lost millions and I've made millions. And that's why I tell my students in my pre-licensing class, you're looking at an ex-millionaire. And that is true. I am an ex-millionaire. Okay. But we've tried to recoup most of our losses and we've been very fortunate to have a second life in real estate. And then of course I started, back then it was Abe Lee Realty, and I changed the name to iProperties Hawaii. And I got a Century 21 franchise about a year and a half ago. And that's been a really good move for me because of name recognition. And I'll tell you why I think it was a good move for me, because we've landed a $300 million project as exclusive listing broker for Samgu Corporation, which is developing the Central Ala Moana. And I would not have gotten that job if I was iProperties Hawaii or Abe Lee Realty. But because I had the Century 21 brand to it, then what I call the old man, the CEO in Korea, heard of Century 21, iProperties Hawaii, and said, okay, I heard of the name, Century 21. They never heard of iProperties Hawaii, but I got the job because of that. Thank goodness to the developer who liked me and thought that we would work together well. So I've been very, very blessed that way and fortunate to have that project. I run Abe Lee Seminars, which is a real estate school for pre-licensing, and I'll touch on that in a minute. And then, of course, I have continuing education classes. Then I have about 160 plus agents that work with us at Century 21 iProperties Hawaii. And I have a small development arm, and we buy and sell properties. So people say they want to learn how to flip properties. I've been doing it since 1980. So
that's a lot of
why
years.
Why do I do what I do?
Yeah. I mean, what is your why?
You know, that's interesting that you asked that question, because a lot of people say, why do you do what you do? Right? And people say, oh, you have to have a passion and you have to have focus and all that. But Simon Sinek says it really well. He says, you start with your why. So why do I do this? Well, I have a wife that we've been married for 46 years or so, somewhere around there. We have 6 children, and most of them went to private schools. And I have 10 grandchildren. So my why is I got to feed my family and keep my business going so I can pay my bills and enjoy life. So my why is really my family, because they're my motivation for getting up in the morning and getting all excited to do work, because I love what I do. And it's not, it says work is not work if you enjoy what you do. So I enjoy what I do, it's not work.
That's true. I love real estate myself. I just love it, love it, love it. Getting back to our topic of
Yes.
creating streams
Sure.
of income, how does that relate back to Abe Lee Seminars?
Okay, we do actually we do several things at Century 21 iProperties Hawaii and also at Abe Lee Seminars. So let's take the simpler one first. If you get your real estate license, you now have the chance to sell a $100,000 home or a $10 million house or a $100 million apartment office building or a hotel. So one license, you can do all that, okay? So you can focus on residential, vacant land, condominiums, or you can focus on commercial properties, or you can do timeshare. So there's a lot of opportunities to make money in real estate once you have this license, what they call a real estate license, okay? Now, some people will say, oh, you know, I don't want to be a pushy salesman. And those real estate agents, they're so greedy, right? They're all about the commission. So here's what I tell people. You can get a real estate license, take my school, get a license, and then you have two choices. You can go active and join a real estate company and do regular real estate sales or commercial real estate, or you can join what we call a referral company. And the referral company, you join this company, and one of my friends owns this company called PLS Realty, yeah, Pamela L. Shule Realty. So if you join her, all you do is hang your license with her, and then when you get a referral and you give it to Tanya, and it ends up in a sale, then Tanya and I would then give 25% of our commissions to PLS Realty, and PLS Realty will give 20% to the agent and keep 5% to herself. So let's take a $10,000 commission, and it came through one of your friends, Tanya, that got a license and gave you a referral, okay? So you do the transaction, it closes, and we get $10,000 in commission. We send $2,500 to Pamela Shule, PLS Realty. Pamela will keep $500 and give $2,000 to your friend. So there's easy side money. All you have to do is give us a warm body, a name, and if it ends up in a sale, you get the money. How easy is that? Okay, you just give us a name. That's all.
That's
Right?
real easy. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then you and I would then split the 7,500. Okay, according to our predetermined commission rate. And the more you sell, the higher your commission rate, and the lower my share. All right. So when we do that, then friends of yours or people you know go, oh, you know, I need some extra money. Oh, my kid's going to Punho, or my kids are, you know, outrigger paddling, and they're playing baseball. They're going on a trip. They need uniform. They need all kinds of costs. There's a lot of money to be spent on our children and our daily activities. Where are you going to get that extra money? Well, you could go work at Jack in the Box or McDonald's after your regular shift at your regular work, and you're dead tired, and go home at midnight, get up at 6 in the morning, and start your life all over again. For what? 10, 12, 14 bucks an hour? But if you gave us a referral and end up in a sale and you get $2,000, how much time do you spend? Maybe an hour, 2 hours at the most, saying, hey, you interested in buying and selling real estate? Go see my friend Tanya. Then we get a referral and your friend gets $2,000. Now, there was a transaction that happened. This is a true story. This agent of mine used to be with me full time, and then she went to work for someone else, and then she became a real estate agent, a referral agent, and decided not to join a board of realtors because it costs money to join the board. So she was at the referral company. She calls me up one day and says, hey, Abe, one of my classmates from junior high school called me up and says, hey, this is so-and-so, how are you? And so she said, I'm fine. What you up to? He goes, we just inherited a $1.8 million property in Portlock. Oh, I'm sorry, not Portlock, but Black Point, okay, by Kahala. So this high school friend says to her, you still in real estate? And she goes, yeah, I am, but I refer people out. So now this agent of mine who's at PLS Realty calls me up and says, my friend wants to sell his house. I go, shoot. So we meet, $1.8 million listing, right? We sell it in 45 days, cash. When we close the transaction, my friend got over $10,000 for just doing one referral.
For
So
how much time of work?
that was
huh?
half an hour. How'd you like to make $10,000 an hour? That doesn't happen often, but all you guys is be lucky and hit on one, okay? And I've had several friends of mine give me a referral, and they'll get 20, 25% commission. for just giving me a warm body. So with you, Tanya, you have friends, you have people that know you and like you and trust you, and they go, hey, if I give you a referral, you give me kickback, that's illegal. But if you want a referral, then you have to get a license. And my school has that license that you can get. Okay. So we teach you how to get the license. And by the way, the tuition, if you give us a referral, I give you back your tuition money.
Wow, that's a
So it doesn't
deal.
cost you anything, right?
So
So I
free
pay you back
schooling.
I pay you back your tuition plus you get 20% of the referral fee, right? So we've given out referral checks to people. Now it could be once a year, once every 2 years, but hey, where else are you going to get a check for 2, 3, 4, 5 grand once in a while for just giving us a warm body? That's all it
Okay,
is. Introduction.
so let me understand the process. Someone says, okay, I like this idea. I'm going to go sign up for Abe Lee's seminars and get my license, right?
Right?
So they can do everything online, I mean, currently, right?
Yes.
Okay, so they go through the whole course, they pass, it's a success, they get their license, yay. Then what do they do? What's their next step?
Well, then of course they'll join up with PLS Realty and sign up as an agent.
Okay.
And then once they join and activate their license, anytime they have somebody that wants to buy or sell a house, will then call you or email you and say, Tanya, I have a buyer or seller. Can you take care of them? So you meet with them, the friend, and then you help them with their buy or sell. When it closes and we get paid, we cut a check to PLS Realty for 25%. PLS Realty will cut a check to your friend for 20%, and PLS will keep 5%.
So are they doing like, are they having to show up, work full, part-time, full-time? I mean,
No,
what are the hours? Like they have to sit at a
no
desk?
hours.
So how does that, what does that look like for them?
Actually, what happens is your friend is at a party, your friend is at work, and somebody says, oh, I got to buy a house. Oh, I got to sell a house. And your friend's ears perk up and go, hey, I can help you because they're a referral agent. Then they'll introduce the friend to you. And once they hand the baton off to you, then you take over. So all you have to do is just listen for somebody that says, I want to buy or sell a house. That's all. They don't have to go hustle. They just have to listen. And anytime there's an opportunity for us buy or sell, then they call you and say, hey, Tanya, I got somebody that's interested.
Or,
how often does that happen? Once in a great while, sometimes more often. But
right.
Hey, every time you have a chance, there's a chance to make at least a referral fee.
Or they can be proactive and,
Yes.
just really get out there and pound the pavement looking
Yeah, they
for
could.
people.
You bet. That's a real aggressive ones.
So they're looking out for people that want to buy property as well as sell property.
Correct.
Any side.
Yep, doesn't matter.
Yeah, that sounds like a good.
So it could be a nephew, a niece, a coworker, whoever. All right.
Right.
So the main thing is you just got to keep your ears open. When anyone says, I need to buy or sell something, their ears perk up and they give you the referral, and then you take over, and then it ends up in a sale, and we all get paid.
Maybe I should downgrade. No.
No,
I'm
you're
just
too
kidding.
active to downgrade. But for people that have a job, that have family, and don't want to sit open houses, and they don't want to deal with people buying and selling, and it's a pain, this is a wonderful opportunity to make some money. And you don't have set hours. You don't have to go sweeping the floor at McDonald's or Jack in the Box for 10, 12 bucks an hour. This is once in a great while, somebody says, I need help, and your friend hears about it, and they introduce you, and the rest is history. Okay, does it happen often? No, but hey, you don't have to have it happen often,
That's true. What would be the average? Let's say based on our median sales price, right?
Okay.
If I was a referral agent, I got the lead,
Sure.
it closes and everything, what would be
Yep.
my take home?
Okay, I got a calculator here, and let's say the house is selling for $600,000, and we have a 3% commission. That's 18 grand, right? 18,000 times 0.2 is $3,600 referral fee.
And for how many minutes or hours?
half
Just,
an
hey,
hour.
I was at the party and I heard someone, and
Exactly
then I
right.
just made the connection.
That's right.
And how long did that take? What, 15 minutes? Some
Yeah.
phone calls in between?
Yep. So that's one way of making money.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. And that's so easy. Now, some people will say, oh, but I'm not a good test taker. And I tried real estate before and I flunked. Well, I guarantee my students that they will pass while giving them their tuition back. Okay. And I don't think I've ever refunded somebody a tuition money because they felt they got their money's worth and didn't really ask for their money back, which is really interesting. And they failed. Okay. Now, there are some people that will not pass the test, but there are lots of people that will pass the test on the first go around. They're like, oh, it was so easy. And other people will say, man, that was so hard. So it depends. Okay. And some people are terrible test takers. They freeze up. And others, they just go through like nothing. Okay. So really, it's the luck of the draw as to whether you're a good test taker or not. But if you pass the test, then you got a chance to make thousands of dollars. Okay. Whoever told you, hey, Tanya, give me a referral, I'll give you $3,000.
Well, you did now.
Yeah. I mean, how hard is that?
That's
You
not
know?
hard.
Nah. So you take the school, pass the test, and you have this license. And when the opportunity arises, then you have a chance to make money. Right? It's pretty easy stuff. I mean, if you can pass high school test or college test, real estate test should be easy. How hard is it to hear someone buying a house, they want to buy a house or sell a house, call you, one phone call, and pow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it's a
Why
no-brainer.
give that money to somebody else?
What else could they do with their license?
You can go active and go referral, which is the one we've been talking about, and get the 20% referral fee. Or the other way is to join a company and be into real estate, either part-time or full-time. And basically, you're not a referral agent. You are the agent. All right. So you have those choices. And you can also do residential, you can do commercial, you can do timeshare, and you can do property management. So there's lots of opportunities in the real estate field to pick and choose what you like to do.
Yeah, that's why I love real estate. There's so many options. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it can satisfy everyone's, I guess, level of people skills or ambition levels.
To just pass the test and become a referral agent, you don't have to know anything. Just pass the test. After that, you don't have to do anything because Tanya will take care of the contract. She'll take care of the loan, the escrow, whatever. All right. So really, the agent that works the transaction, it's not an easy job. And people think, you guys make so much money and you don't have to do nothing. They don't know the amount of work that's involved in doing a transaction. And then sometimes the transaction falls apart. People hit each other's guts. They're going to sue each other. And then you made nothing. And other times it goes through so smoothly, you go, I feel guilty taking this money. Okay. So you have really, really easy transactions and the ones that transactions came from hell. And you don't wish that on anybody. And we've faced them all. Okay. But that's just a challenge of doing real estate. But for the referral agent, all they got to do is refer and then done.
So talk to us a little bit about the school process, or how many hours of
Sure.
schooling and all of that.
Okay. You have two choices. You can do what we call a live class. And before the coronavirus hit, we were actually in classroom and would have anywhere from 50 to 60 students in a classroom. And I have a pretty good classroom, good sized classroom in my building here at Ala Moana Pacific Center, right by Macy's. So the students would be in here and we'd be teaching them live classes. It'd be 4 weeks, Thursday night, Friday night from 5:30 to 9:30, and all day Saturday from 8:30 to 5:30 for 4 weeks. Now, once you pass the school exam, you take the test on the last day of the class. Then once you pass that, then you go downstairs in the same building to the PSI testing center and you take the state exam. Once you pass the state exam, then you have 2 years to decide what to do with your license.
Any final
You either
words before we sign off, especially
I
with
would tell you.
focus on this? Well, in this environment of the
Mm.
COVID and being on
Yeah.
lockdown,
It's going to be over. Okay, there's going to be a cure. There's going to be a vaccine one day. Until then, wear your mask and practice social distancing and just be safe. Okay, wash your hands. I wash my hands more often than I ever have before. I wear this dumb mask that I don't like. But you know, you got to do it to protect others, not so much
You
you.
know, when they start
But I will tell
lifting
you.
the regulations on this lockdown,
Hmm.
what are your thoughts on the market and how
Sure.
things are going to be going forward?
I think it's going to go really well because people have to buy and sell. Now, I've been reading trends and why the lockdown or the COVID will not create a recession for real estate. And that's really interesting. Okay. Because one, the developers have not overbuilt inventory. So they're short on homes. The interest rates are still low. So people that have a job can still afford a house. Okay. And so there's people have to buy and sell. I met somebody today. They want to sell because they want to move up to another house. They don't want to wait. So I'm listing the house today. They could have waited 2 months from now, but they said, no, let's do it now. I said, are you willing to show your house? Oh, yeah, no problem. Send people over. Just make sure they wear the mask.
Yeah, and I know that there are agents out there who have listings with multiple offers coming in.
Yes.
And when you look at the inventory, we're like really low.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we need
It is.
inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think the market will rebound faster than the rest of the economy as long as we have people that have jobs. Now, people that have lost their jobs, it's really unfortunate that
Yeah.
they're going to be behind the 8 ball for a while.
Yeah.
But there are people that have a job, like the couple I work with today. They both have good paying jobs and they didn't get furloughed. So they can afford to buy another house and they're moving up. So there are people out there that are doing that. Now, obviously, we'd like to have more. So when the hotel industry comes back, the tourist market gets back, then we're going to have more and more people that can afford it. But right now, they are tight because they're behind on the bills. Okay, they
Yeah.
can't even make the payments on that.
Yeah.
So yes, there are some people that are really hurting, and I feel so sorry for them. I have a friend that lost his business,
Mm.
and he may lose his house because he owes all three. He has an automobile fleet that caters to tourists. He has a warehouse full of those cars, and then he has a house. He can't make payments on any of those three.
Mm.
So I don't know how long it's going to take him to ever recover, if he's ever going to recover. So those kinds of people are really going to get hit hard, and I feel so sorry for him. He's such a hard worker. But I will tell you that if you want to know more about real estate and know about how to make some extra money and to help other people achieve their American dream of home ownership, Tanya is the lady to go talk to. Okay, and she can help you with getting in the starting the school because she and her father took the school. Okay, they're students of mine, wonderful students. But yeah, she can help you and actually help you to learn how to make extra money, especially if you got kids that are needing like I said, uniforms, travel, guitar lessons, hula lessons, you name it. Plenty of money goes out. Well, this will help you replenish some of that money.
And I think too, if people are thinking of retirement and they want to stash away extra money for retirement, that would be a good reason. And so before we sign off, I want to ask you more on a personal level, what are your favorite books or a book? I know you mentioned you got several.
Okay.
And why? And why is it your favorite?
Okay. It's narrowed down to 3. You can pick and choose which one. Okay. One is called The Why, or Beginning with the Why, or something like that, by Simon Sinek. Okay. Simon, Sinek, is excellent. You can also watch him on YouTube. There's also a guy named, shoot, I have senior moment right now. Okay. So,
That's okay. That's okay.
7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Who is that?
Yeah, see, now I forgot the name,
I
right?
got a senior
Okay,
moment now.
it'll come. If you just Google it, you'll find it.
Yeah.
Okay, Stephen Covey.
Yes.
Okay, yes, Stephen Covey has written a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and he studied the habits of people that are successful and what are the habits. All right, and the last book that I really like is called Think and Grow Rich by a guy named
Napoleon Hill.
Hill. Okay, Napoleon Hill wrote this book in the 1930s. It has sold, I think, 60 to 80 million copies. I don't know how many, but millions, even after he's dead. And he studied the rich people in America and found out the characteristics of what made them successful. So those three are my all-time favorite books. Okay, Napoleon Hill is a classic, and you might want to start off with that. Then after that, you might go to Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And Simon Sinek is a newcomer, and he's excellent in his whys and why you do what you do. Okay, so to me, those three are my all-time favorites.
I've read 2 out of the 3. I haven't read
Hey,
Simon's book yet.
I haven't read Simon's book either, but I watched YouTube. So
Okay,
YouTube him. Okay, it's free.
so
Yeah,
you're listening to bits and pieces of
yeah,
his book.
I do.
Or, I
In
mean, is
fact,
it an actual book with the why he actually
yeah.
wrote? Okay.
But actually, Napoleon Hill, his original version, I forget how many hours it was. 2 hours is what I watched on YouTube. But there's another version, 10 hours on YouTube.
Oh my.
And I've listened and watched it at least 2 or 3 times.
So you don't have Audible, which is
No,
you listen to
I'm cheap.
books? Oh, I love Audible. Hey,
I know.
15 bucks a month. You know, you get your
Yeah.
books and store it in your library and you
Hey,
can listen to it whenever.
I know. That's $180 a year.
Hey, sometimes you gotta spend a little to make a little.
I know. But YouTube is really good. It's free.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just want to thank you again, Abe,
Thank you.
for being my very special guest and mentor in real estate. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you and to be
Thank you.
working with you. So thanks everyone for joining in, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
And Abe is my boss, or maybe not boss. What would I call you? Colleague,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
actually
I forgot some comedian.
colleague, or
Yeah.
actually
Associate.
mentor. I know you
Okay.
kind of hesitate from that word, but I see it as a
forgot.
it's on my social media. Faith, family, real estate. I
Okay.
gotta get
Good.
a sign that says real estate. So I always say my brand, Hawaii Homes by Tanya with Century 21 iProperties Hawaii.
Okay.
Is that
That's a
good? Is that
mouthful.
okay? Yeah.
That's a
Good? Is that
mouthful.
okay? Yeah.
That's a
Good? Is that
mouthful.
okay? Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, you're so funny.